In your opinion, in which situation is a straightforward LTV-based bidding recommended, where indicators of higher LTV determine a higher bid being placed? And in what other situations is a portfolio-based bidding recommended, where bids are a function of the price needed to reach the most promising sources?
Yeah. LTV prediction is obviously a huge topic, right? I wish it was easier. I think with iOS 14 now and IDFA depreciation, that is, like a whole thing now, right? And an LTV prediction got that much more complex and difficult. I think in gaming, it was a pretty straightforward approach to it, right? So once you have enough of historical data, you can actually work your way kind of back, from, okay, what's like, you have to reverse engineer it, right? So you start with, okay, what is our break-even goal, right? Like, when do we want to hit break-even of our investment and then be profitable? See how that develops throughout time. So you start with, your day, whatever it is that you want to be profitable, and work your way to like, okay, how is that changing, or how is that affecting to day 30, and then what's the correlation between day 30 to day 14, and then day 14 to day 7, right? And that way you can work to the indicator that is relevant to day-to-day campaign optimization, right? So it's just the multiplier basically approach and like effect to it. I think this is a fairly bulletproof approach and one of the best I've seen in the industry so far. But that said, gaming, like mentioned before, is heavily driven and impacted by whales, right? And so if like a couple of guys are really dominating the LTV chart and the LTV game, it's super tough to make a decision off of that, or even like to subtract a median of your LTV and project that on the rest of the audience, really, because the median is so far away from the actual average and the actual pay users that it is nothing like reality. Like it's very little like reality behind it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's definitely a tough game, and I think this is still like the best that I've seen in the industry working out. But having LTV prediction and keeping that in mind is definitely a must when it comes to day-to-day campaign optimization. But I think that you should not kind of navigate to it way too much. Like, don't worry about it too much, because like I said, when you're managing a game that's monetizing in like day 40 to day 60, like that's the range of time that you need for the first purchase to come in, then there's no way of you keeping LTV prediction in mind when it comes to campaign optimization, right? Because like you see nothing, you see zero in there. So just a super tough game, right? And as opposed to like subscription-based model, I think there's like more like less volatility to it. So it's like more stability when it comes to all those predictions, right? But there's kind of one problem with it, and that most of the subscription products, they are shooting for the 1-year subscription, and then the question is what's happening with the renewal rate, right? So the problem is in the first year, you have no idea what your renewal rate is going to be, right? So your only way is to be like break even on day 360, because you have no idea what's going to happen next, right? And then if you do happen to your renewal rate and you want to be more bullish and you want to scale the hell out of it, and go for maximizing the profit, then you're relying on a metric that takes a whole year to develop, right? And there sure is going to be some volatility to that metric, so you have no idea throughout the year how that's changing, and you have kind of like a little leverage to balance out, like the noise of that curve or that metric. So it's also a very, very, very tricky game to play.